sniff on the cards. It did seem that Medrano was the busier. Mouth open over in that red corner. Certainly Medrano feeling the effects of the first 3 rounds.
I think I'll probably still go Medrano's way with that 3rd round, though. He finished explosively there, Phillips, but he's got a lot to do in the second half of the fight here. This is a big, big test for him. This will really give him that gut check. How much does he want this? How much does he really want to do this? Because if he's going to turn this around, he's going to have to dig deep here, really, really deep.
But also just stylistically, Andy, that might be the issue, because he does like to box a certain way. He's comfortable in the pocket as a counter-puncher. His defences have just let him down. Also, the pace of the fight is leading you towards Medrano. So he might just have to box outside of himself. He might have to find another gear. He might have to do something slightly different, unless it's going to be one of the big shots in those exchanges that we've seen. And now into round 4, we see Phillips looking to get on the front foot behind the jab. Maybe that will be the start of the answer to his problems. Medrano sneaks over a right hand.
Likely to be. You have to give Medrano round 1. You have to give him round 2, 10-8. Round 3 was close. Could have been a Phillips round. But
Toomey Phillips. Toomey Phillips. Again, the heads a little close together. You can see Medrano's come into this in wicked shape with plenty of ambition. He landed again. It's so tough to score plenty of these exchanges as well, because it really is tit for tat. And having Lids on the verge of exhaustion, Medrano did manage to see that out. And we'll monitor how he looks now in between the final couple of rounds.
But Phillips did dominate that final minute. I said he wasn't capitalising, and then in the last 30 seconds he did do some pretty good work, I thought. Went down to the body, went up to the head. So that could be enough for him to take that one. He absolutely had to win that round. Let's just say he has dropped the first 3 plus the point. He had to win that round, and if that is the case, then he would need a knockdown as well, wouldn't he? But Medrano looks like he's in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, telling shots those. He is eyes closed, trying to suck in oxygen. And at the moment, his lungs and his body not functioning in the way that he'd like. Whereas Phillips, with a poker face, that nonplussed appearance, and also the style he has, the way he boxes so efficiently.
You can see why this has proved to be a problem for him, an opponent going about it in this fashion. He would have been expecting this to happen, of course, soon enough in his career, but it doesn't make it any easier to deal with necessarily when it does happen.
Well, it absolutely is a journey into the unknown tonight, isn't it? And every fighter knows it's possible, but at this section, navigating your career, you don't quite anticipate to have the problems. That was a lovely little uppercut from Phillips in the exchanges. So maybe now, as the pace is slowing, he's starting to find the avenues and the openings.
He's turned southpaw, just looking to try and get that left hand into operation. Almost landed it there. I think half landed it. Does get through with a decent shot.
And fair play, Medrano fighting back off the ropes. And still Medrano finding it from somewhere. Midway through the penultimate round, you feel that Phillips needs an explosion.
That's a good jab. He just nicked a little bit of a rest there for 20 seconds, Phillips, I think, and that's fine if he now puts his foot down for the rest of the round.
Couple of cuffing shots off the back foot there, Phillips, but not quite the real estate to do any sort of hurtful damage. And again, Medrano's managing to ride the rocky moments. Phillips needs to make it more uncomfortable for him because he's running out of time.
If Phillips is busier on the inside at this kind of range, then he can take the round, he can take the rest of the fight. But if I were in his corner, I'd be so frustrated that he's not just trying to establish a bit more distance, particularly as Medrano's getting more and more tired. Just, you know he's going to come, don't you? You know he's going to come, and just try and catch him on the way in at greater range than he is. Because this is exactly where Medrano wants it, isn't it? This gives him the best possible chance.
And he lands the right hand again, and it's a flurry from Medrano. The kind of flurry that could almost steal a round when he seemed like Phillips should be doing exactly that himself.
You're right, that might just have got away from him at the very end, because we're looking at him at times, you almost want to kind of shout at him, really, just to do more, don't you? Because he's not doing enough.
Yeah, I think as a neutral, I think those fans on the far side kind of want to energise, want to shake Tommy Phillips. Listen, that looked almost a finishing knockdown in the second round, and he got up sharpish. You never know how much of an effect, Andy, that's going to have. You wrote a book
that's a really
exactly
good point.
about those kind of things in the knockout, so you never quite know. He might be in a bit of a fog of days that he's not able to shake himself out of. We just can't know, but otherwise, looking as a neutral, you feel he needs more.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and very much worth remembering, because this has been a rough ride for him right from the beginning, and if he's still feeling that shot from the second round, he looked pretty good when he got back up, but boxers are good at hiding things.
The best liars in the business, the best liars in sport, for sure. But usually the truth will out inside that ring, almost always, in fact. And the truth as it stands is that it appears Tommy Phillips in a bit of bother. They've been close rounds. There've been a few squeakers. You feel he needs a big finish.
Landed a lovely body shot, Medrano, a few seconds ago. Just really harpooned the right hand into the pit of the stomach. 3, 4 and 5. Rounds 1 and 2 were clear with a knockdown. 3, 4 and 5 were closer, but I find it hard to see how you could give all three of them to Tommy Phillips. It's not impossible, but I wouldn't have myself.
And I think that one of the stories of this fight is the low left hand, or in those exchanges being open to the right hand. And that'll be something they'll be able to go back and work on. There's another big right hand from Medrano again, who can see the finishing line with just over a minute and a half to go. He's trying to throw his own shots there. He just slipped in the middle of the ring, but it's Medrano who's forcing things. It's Medrano who's throwing shots. It's Medrano who's finding that little bit extra. He's just hustling Tommy Phillips here, outworking him. You can have an argument, a debate about the quality of work and who's landed the better shots, but Medrano's just simply doing more.
That's it. That's exactly it. He's got a minute left here, Phillips, to turn it around, and from where I'm sitting, he needs a knockout.
Nice little short right hand there from Phillips again in those exchanges, but Medrano, while they landed on gloves, throwing back again. Inside the final minute then. An unexpectedly entertaining and hard fight tonight. Again, Tommy Phillips has his successes, but Medrano comes back with a little more. And we sensed it right from the start. From the way he dressed, the way he moved, the way he came into the ring, Medrano. He was bang up for the job tonight.
He absolutely was, and on my card, he's won the fight, and he's won it quite handily, because he won that first round, no question. The second round he won with a knockdown, so 10-8. So the reality is, at that point, he needs one of the final 4 rounds to win the fight, doesn't he? That's the maths. If they're all 10-9 and there were no knockdowns, which there weren't, and I'd give him 2 out of the last 4, maybe even 3. So you're looking at 59, 54, 58, 55, I would say, probably. If it does go that way, this is not terminal for Toomey Phillips. He'll have learned so much throughout the course of that fight, won't he? So much. He probably got caught a little bit cold, and then when the momentum starts to go against you, against a really determined guy, and a good guy as well, it's hard to turn it. It's really hard to turn it.
Especially when it's unexpected, when it's not in the script. The mental challenge that presents for fighters, I think, is so difficult. So then that's why the goods and the greats are the good and the greats, because they're able to find plan B, plan C, find another way to win. There's always that X factor in sport, and more so than in boxing. A wry smile from Toomey Phillips above us. I don't think he could have expected that kind of bother tonight. And
but
then you think, Andy, about the levels and levels. You think if it's hard here, how much harder is it up there? What a game.
Yeah, and that'll be the tough thing for him if this gets scored the way we think it will. In the next few weeks, that's where the real doubt will come in. But like I say, this is not the end of the road.
And your winner, still undefeated, Toomey
Yes, Toomey Phillips who gets the nod. It's kind of hard to fathom the maths. There were lots of close rounds. In fact, every round was a close one. And even in round 2, Phillips, having been down, did hurt Medrano. There's no doubt about it. So they were squeakers, but what Medrano put in tonight, it's difficult to see him coming up on the wrong side of that.
Yeah, it is, because 57-56, what that means is that I'm assuming the referee has given him the first 2 plus a knockdown, and he's given Toomey Phillips rounds 3, 4, 5 and 6. I don't see that myself. I just don't. I think Medrano's been very unlucky there. They should do it again. It was a really good fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Unexpectedly good. I had that nailed on. Odds on 6 rounds. Probably Toomey Phillips just boxing comfortably, and that would be that. But Medrano came in tonight with a bit between his teeth. And, well, he'll be asked back. Slightly rueful look from Medrano, his team, and one of his supporters alongside him tonight as well. But they'll get asked back. He's going to be in the little black book for the matchmakers.
So much of it.
Toomey Phillips then remains unbeaten. That'll go in the books. And now Toomey's going to talk about it, describe it, let us know how he's feeling, what he made of it. He's with Ali.
But you were made to work for it in there. Just talk me through the performance.
Listen, they say be careful what you ask for. Obviously, Angelo dropped out the fight. They gave me opponents. I chose the hardest one available. Against my manager's advice, take it slow. I have the injury for 3 months. Probably was sensible to warm in again, but we thank God for the victory, nevertheless.
It was a tough fight, opening the show tonight. You suffered a knockdown in the second round. What was going through your head at that moment? What were the instructions from the corner so early on in the fight?
The instructions were given to me beforehand on what to do. Leon told me, he sent me a message yesterday, keep that left hand up. I got carried away in the exchanges. It's part of boxing, it happens. We see powers of recovery. If I weren't fit, didn't have a chin, a lot of prospects, that's then done. So, like I said, thank God.
Some valuable rounds there and some valuable lessons learned. You mentioned an injury. Are you going to take a bit of time out now, or are you going to go back into camp?
I might have a bit of this week off. I've been in camp for probably 12 weeks. Obviously, the injury, I couldn't do any rehab. Came in back into the gym very heavy. So I've been in camp for like 12 weeks. Maybe it took its toll, who knows. But yeah, no, straight back to the gym. Stuff to work on, clearly.
And just a word on being back on top tier. You know, you did your first few fights on top tier, went elsewhere, you're back again.
Yes, it's crazy. Thankful to my manager, Leon, and the link up with Johnny, of course, for having me back on. This is a year today that I made my debut, same arena. Some people believe in coincidence, I believe in God's plans. So yeah, I'm happy.
Well done tonight, you remain undefeated.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So Timmy Phillips, fairly honest in his appraisal, lots to work on, as you could see, he said, quote unquote. So nice to see that refreshing honesty. Personally, in an open discussion, I don't think boxers in their records need to be protected. I think the idea of maintaining the O and protecting, I don't see there's much point in that personally. I think we're moving on from that as a sport, culturally, etc., etc., etc. But anyway, listen, it's not the first, won't be the last. It happens.
It does, but the important thing is, like you said there, he was very grounded and realistic with what he said to Ali after the fight there. So he's not going to walk away from this and just think, yeah, I won that fight, I won it easily. Never mind all the haters or anything like that. He's thinking, no, that was a bad night at the office. Obviously, he's had a few issues, but he'll know that he needs to improve and be better. And you often do improve a lot more in the wake of a poor performance than you do in the wake of... He doesn't look like he's going to try and paper over cracks there, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And the team behind him won't either. They don't want to be too dramatic about it. It's still early, but I think what happened was exactly what you said towards the start of the fight. It's that he'd been in fights so far where he was supposed to win, and it was just a question of could he force a stoppage, how good was he going to look? They hadn't really come to win, the people he was fighting, and that's normal. You know, we know the game. But this guy did come to win, and he was on him right from the start, and he maybe wasn't really expecting it. And then you find yourself 3 points down through 2 rounds in a 6-round fight. The tide is against you, and it's hard to turn it, and he stemmed it. He definitely stemmed it, didn't he? For me, he didn't really turn it, but at the same time, he'll have learnt a lot, basically, won't he?
And it's the hardest place in sport to be learning lessons, isn't it? No doubt about it, as opposed to in the gym. He couldn't have prepared himself mentally, I don't think, for what he ended up facing there. I wonder, one of the discussions they might have, certainly something I'm thinking now as a neutral here ringside, is how much of that is about gears and energy, how much of it is actually about style, and maybe we need to change a little bit of that. I don't know. I think they're fair discussions to have.
Yeah, I think so, because every now and again we'd see him snap out a really good, solid jab without any particular tell on it, and you look at him and you just think, why didn't you just do that more? It's simple from here, isn't it, a lot of the time, but why didn't you just do that more against a guy who's looking to swagger onto the inside, and then when he gets there, was happy there? And it wasn't like Phillips was really uncomfortable on the inside, but Medrano just threw a lot more punches, and you look like you're getting outworked. And in that context, you've got to pick yours really well and land them to convince people that you've won the fight, because the other guy will look like the boss. It's quite simple when you look at it, isn't it? So I think you're right. I think there's a few things to look at there, but there's some tools there with him. There always have been. So maybe he just got caught between styles a bit tonight.
And one thing he couldn't know, we certainly couldn't and didn't know, is how he takes a shot. My goodness me, I thought that was a knockout punch. and he was up at 2 or 3 afterwards. Remarkable. There was shades of Dubois against Agee, wasn't it? The way that right hand was thrown, and the way it looped and unfolded.
It was sweet. It really was. And yeah, that's a big plus to take away, because.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for our next bout of the evening, scheduled for 3-minute rounds in the super lightweight division. And now please welcome to the ring, Carl Sampson.
Carl Sampson making his way to the ring as the show goes on, and the fights keep coming here on DAZN this Sunday afternoon. Sheffield fighter who has won nearly twice as many fights as he's lost, although he has gone on a losing streak of 3 on the bounce. But if Arjun Bassi needed any reminder, it was only a couple of months ago that Carl Simpson beat another prospect who was unbeaten, coming in full of the business.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, Arjun Bassi.
Plenty of noise ringside for Arjun Bassi, the 24-year-old, who made a pretty sparkling debut at York Hall back in May. Andy and I were there to watch it. He sold a stacked load of tickets on that occasion, and he went in fairly deep against the former area title level fighter in Angelo Dragoni, and it ended up being a showcase for his talent and what he's all about. He's moved gym since then, ticket seller. He's got a load of talent, Andy.
He has. He was good to watch first time out. And as you say, he was under pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds in the super lightweight division. This bout is brought to you by Johnny Clark of Top Tier Boxing and sponsored by Play Undisputed, Empire, Synergy Directs, and Think Green Partners. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Ben Harmsworth and Des Reese. Your timekeeper at the bell, Brett Bowles, and the third man in charge of the action in the ring, referee Bernard Oyet. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing the black with gray trim. His official weight of 10 stones, 1 pound. He is a veteran of 66 fights. Hailing from Sheffield, England, United Kingdom, introducing Carl Sampson. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the blue and white. His official weight of 9 stones, 13 pounds. He is currently undefeated with 1 win. Hailing from Ilford, London, England, United Kingdom, introducing Arjun the Bullet Bassi.
Gentlemen, let's keep it clean, let's keep it professional at all times. Remember, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, let's go.
Looking forward to this. But certainly the appetite was whet a couple of months ago at York Hall, when Arjun Bassi made his belated
seconds out
professional debut. Must have seemed a long time in the works for him, but he gave us a real sense of what he's about, what he might be capable of. That's a fairly high level of achievement to be beating Dragoni first time up. Now he's since switched stables. He's now with Mark and Jimmy Tibbs. Any night or day you're ringside with Jimmy Tibbs on the apron, you feel like you're soaking in rich boxing history, Andy.
You absolutely do. It's great to see him. Always good to see him. The combination of those two as you say, brings an awful lot of knowledge and experience. And just peering over to the corner there too, just sat in the front row, he's got Richard Maynard here, I think, Arjan Bassi, who's a well-known boxing figure. It's always interesting to see who gathers around a fighter early on, because there's some belief in Bassi, and he definitely does have ability, not just the ability to sell tickets, he definitely can fight. So we'll watch how he goes with interest. Samson is tough. He's a bona fide, experienced, good away corner fighter.
What we saw back at York Hall, lovely work on the inside from Bassi. Left hook and the uppercuts in particular, when he closed the range, were wicked, spiteful and eye-catching. The moment he's just trying to get closer to Samson, he just whipped in a little left hook to the body, didn't he? Plenty of fans have come here tonight as well to see the bullet. And always the difficulty for any young prospect is just getting the balance between eagerness, enthusiasm, wanting to impress, but sticking to all the things that you've been working on as well. Easier said than done. You got the crowd, you're under the lights.
He does seem very calm and composed though, doesn't he? He did when we saw him the first time. He knows that there's some expectation on him, but you don't really envisage him getting too carried away with it. I think when you look at somebody like Samson, I don't know whether he looks at his opponents much or whether he leaves that to his team, but even if he just had a glance at the record, you would know that this is one of those nights where you just go about your business, implement what you've been working on in the gym as best as you can, and whatever happens in terms of getting a stoppage or not is whatever happens. It's not going to be easy. He's lost 56 times, Cole Samson, but he's only been stopped on 6 of those occasions.
Yeah, few and far between. Tends to be just a sort of couple a year for the last few years. The difficulty so far in that first round was just pinning Samson down, who was using his footwork and leg work to keep himself out of trouble and out of range. So it's up to Bassi now to close down the ring and to pin him down.
He landed a good uppercut, didn't he, about 30, 40 seconds ago, far side of the ring. He looks like he's locking on a bit in this second round. I didn't realise it was 4 months. It doesn't seem that long. And when you're starting off, you want the boxers as much as you can, really. Obviously, he's changed gym, hasn't he? So that's probably a big reason, I'd imagine, why he's not been out since. But first year, you maybe want to box 6 times at least, I would say, in an ideal world.
Just managing to close the ring, make things a little less comfortable for Samson. Whipped in a couple of body shots, there he goes again. To see him. Nice little shot there from Samson, clipped in with a right hand, just a reminder to stay switched on. But even although he missed that double jab, Bassi, I'd like to see him using that, because it just gets his feet closer and into range, gives him another opportunity.
He's clever, Samson, isn't he? That right hand you picked out, it's not a trick shot exactly, but it's a right hand lead which you don't see all that often. He throws it, steps in with it and goes straight onto the shoulder, so it makes it very, very difficult to counter it, and then gets hold of you and has a little wrestle and then walks you around a little bit. It's great away corner stuff.
That's the footwork. There's a nice right hand. There's the footwork is keeping Samson out of mischief so far.
Switching southpaw.
Little touch of gloves at the end of it. Samson's doing his job, and it's up to Bassi to make things uncomfortable for him.
One thing he's tried a couple of times in the first 2 rounds, Bassi, is when he's got Samson back towards the ropes, he'll kind of step off and give him an exit to Samson's left, to Bassi's right. He'll allow him to escape that way, and then he'll step across and wing in this big kind of roundhouse right hand almost, thinking that I'll show you that door, and as you come through it, I'll wallop you. He hasn't quite managed to hit him with it yet, but I just wonder whether he might in the second half. But forcing anything against this guy
corners,
to be
10
hard,
seconds.
The corner will be telling him, just keep doing your thing, just keep doing your thing.
Seconds
That's what
out,
we're here for.
round 3.
And this is one of the lessons on the way, isn't it? You've got a mover, you've got someone who's good on their feet. How do I solve that puzzle under the lights? Not in sparring, how do I solve that puzzle under the lights with the crowd close to weight? That's a nice move from Bassi. The jab left hand was, it's almost like a cobra, wasn't it? Just mesmerizing Samson briefly before he threw the right hand to the body.
You mentioned it before, he's got good feet, Samson. He's trying to line him up there, Bassi, but Samson knows where he is in the ring, and he knows he's got enough room behind him just to take those feet back, and the punches won't quite get there. Switching stance again. Doesn't always move the same way.
No, it looked like he almost had him trapped in the corner over there, and he just found the escape route out to his right. So that'll be something that Bassi will have registered that. He'll have clocked that, and maybe he can do something about it next time he gets him close to one of the corners.
Just trapping the right hand, Bassi there with the forearm there, Samson on the blind side of the ref, and then as the ref circled around, he just released it. He's having to work hard here, Samson, though, to stay out of trouble, isn't he?
Yeah, using up a lot of energy, but only another minute, then one more round to go. I wonder how much of that for Samson is instinctive. I've gone this way, I've gone that way. Don't want to have any shows, any tells. Or is it just pure instinct?
I think it's fairly instinctive. Just missed him with a big right hand there, Bassi. Maybe just looking for big singles a bit too much, which is understandable. The way you slow a man down is obviously just by hitting him as regularly as you can, causing him to just reset, go again, slow those feet down. But it's easier said than done against somebody like this.
Yes, he's such a good mover, Samson, and he's not engaging, so he's tough for Bassi. Steep learning curve for him. And obviously the further up you go, the less you're going to encounter movers in the same way as Samson tonight. He's presenting a problem. You can't blame him for that.
No, absolutely not. And you know what you're getting. The tips of Bassi after this fight aren't going to talk to Ali in the post-fight and have a moan about Samson going about his business the way that he has. That's his job. That's what he does.
He's not getting paid to come in here and get bashed up.
And they'll be saying in that Samson corner, they'll be saying
Corners, 10
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah. No, what is it? 3:30, 4 o'clock. Get in the car, they'll be home.
We've made
seconds out.
He took a few body shots.
Final round.
Yeah, lovely jump. Yeah, lovely. Bassi fans, and they are plentiful tonight here at the Brentwood. Second pro outing, second top tier show for Arjun Bassi. Oh, lovely shot. Well, that's the benefit of getting a little closer, and also a reminder that even if you miss with the first shot, if you're thrown in combinations, you can profit from the second or third. That was a lovely short right hand from Bassi, and there's a bit more energy about him now to close the gap.
That gave him some real encouragement, didn't it? Again there, he slips away to his right-hand side, Samson, and he was aiming that big left hand to the body, Bassi. Didn't quite manage to land it. Against someone like this, maybe you just want to shorten them up a bit, not try and put quite so much on them. Better chance of landing them.
He's been hard to get to, hard to get near in truth tonight, Carl Samson. So often with his back against the ropes, skirting round the ring.
Gets nice and low as well, doesn't he? When he comes off those ropes often, gets nice and low, and Bassi's really having to punch down, which is a tricky thing to do.
And it's hard to read. It's so hard to read. So many of those occasions when he's skirting the ring in one direction, suddenly he's off in another. Oh, lovely shot. Oohs and ahs from the crowd as well. That was the uppercut that we saw a few months ago at York Hall. The only real tell from Samson is when they do get close, when he feels pinned down, he does lean forward and close the gap. He looks for comfort a little closer. So throwing that uppercut's not a bad idea if he can time him in those rare moments. And again, holding on the referee's blind side as well. He has got the away fighters' repertoire down pat. All the little tricks in that black book, memorized, signed and sealed. Four rounds in the bank with a new team, and the next start of Arjun Bassi's career up and running. I don't blame Samson tonight. He did his job, and I don't blame Bassi for finding things a little difficult to do what he wanted to do as well.
No, absolutely right, absolutely right. That'll be, it's 4 good rounds for him, isn't it, Bassi? Yes, it was frustrating. He didn't show any signs of that getting to him, to be honest. You looked at his face throughout the fight. He wasn't rushing things. He wasn't doing anything crazy. He kept that technique together. He kept trying to do the right things. He was doing the right things. It's just hard to land on a guy like that. He's won every round there, Bassi. And in a 4-round fight, if you've got 6 rounds, maybe you feel like if you just keep the tempo a little bit higher from the beginning, that over the course of 6 rounds, that'll be a much more difficult thing to do. But there's a reason why Samson, I'd imagine, probably doesn't go above 4 or 6, maybe ever, because that's quite tiring what he does, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to be in enough shape, but you've got to know what you're doing, and he absolutely knows what he's doing. A couple of the little dark arts when they're up close as well. The underappreciated things.
Yeah, good technique. You know, he's a good fighter. Like loads of these guys, you wonder if things have been different, how his career might have turned out.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee's scorecard. Referee Bernard Oyet scores the bout 40-36. And your winner, still undefeated, Arjan the Bullet Bassi.
Well, it was tough tonight for Arjun Bassi to fire any bullets, in truth, but that's testament to how fleet-footed and skillful Carl Sampson was defensively, and he's got the rounds. Camp with a new team, and they can roll on and stop their stuff on another night.
Exactly, and I think he'll be eyeing up a slot on that next top-tier card. It's the end of November, isn't it? That's not too long to wait. I'm sure they'll want him back out as soon as possible, because those kinds of fights, they're not quite like spars, because you wouldn't employ a sparring partner to do that, would you, necessarily? But he didn't really take a punch there. It was a really good workout, and he'll have learned something, certainly, but there's no reason. He could box again in a couple of weeks, to be honest, couldn't he?
Yeah, and oftentimes these early days, it's about the process, isn't it? It's the camps, however long they are. It's with Johnny Clark shows, it's the pressers, the weigh-ins, etc. So there's all those things to go through. That's part of the process about learning to be a professional fighter. Very early days with Arjun Bassi, but we like what we see. Mark Tibbs looks pretty happy. He knows the game and the business. Let's hear what they have to say with Ali.
Arjun, you moved to 2-0. That was a tougher task tonight. He's a tricky, awkward opponent. Just try and sum up those 4 rounds.
I was trying to hold back my frustration. When he kept running, all I wanted to do was just grab and have some, but obviously you can't. His job in there is to survive. I was trying to showcase what I'm capable of, and his comments afterwards were very pushing, so it's nice to know he thinks the same as I thought.
What did you feel differently tonight compared to your pro debut a few months ago?
You know, Angelo, when he came to try and take me away, try and spoil the party a little bit. I don't think he was too fussed about spoiling the party, but you know, all respect to him. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from him. At points, you know, he shows he can be a good operator, but it's just frustrating from my point. Sometimes you can't really get your work off the way you want to showcase yourself, but next time.
Well, new coach, Mark Tibbs, I'll bring you in. You had quite a lot to say after the fight. What were you telling him?
Well, Cole done his job and he came to survive, and he did a good job doing that, so he knew what he was doing. He knows how to diffuse what Arjun's got to offer, and he'll learn as he goes on. And the more they commit and throw, the more good he's going to look. This guy can punch, he can box. And looking forward to his 3rd professional fight, more time with him. I saw 1 or 2 bits and pieces there, connections, which I felt already in our gym at Origin in Raynham. But yeah, I'm very excited about working with Arjun Bassi here, for sure.
And how are you finding the new setup in the new gym as well, new coaching team?
You know what, I ain't gonna lie. When I talked to Mark and Jimmy, at first I was a little bit in awe. Like, I've only ever seen them on the TV with like big fighters. And I was looking at them, anything they say, I listen. So now having them with me, the future is just, it's endless, it's endless.
One more thing, Ali, I've got to say, everything, we've done trial and tested this in the gym anyway, but in here tonight, I know it's only 4 rounds, but everything I asked him to try, he did to the best of his ability. And it's just because Cole was a good survivor, he's good at what he does, that, that it looked like it did, but good job. I'm over the moon with you. Well done.
So, straight back in the gym, working with the team?
Oh, 100%. I'll be back running tomorrow morning.
And we can't let you go without mentioning the massive support. We saw it on your pro debut. We've seen it tonight. They raised the roof in here tonight.
Hey. I tell you what, I tell you what. One thing that when I'm laying in bed and I'm tired and I can't be asked to train, it's the noise I know I'm going to hear when I come out of that stage. So you lot drive me, and I love you lot so much, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done tonight. Great performance.
Thank you very much.
Arjun Bassi, and
Guys, hello.
Happy enough, Mark Tibbs as well. Happy enough, Mark Tibbs. He knows the game, he knows the business, he knows these nights and those kind of opponents are always in the works. But yeah, they'll be pressing the button. Everyone's on to Johnny. Every time there's a new card announced, there's a new bill potentially around the corner, and end of November, he'll be one that's trying to get his name on that card.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard to find fighters like a Medrano, for example, who's got the kind of record that he's got, but then comes to really have a go, who's still got that kind of ambition left. Because if you're an out-and-out away corner fighter, the reality is if you win too much, then the phone will stop ringing. But also, if you're a bit too ambitious, you won't succeed as an away corner fighter because you'll get stopped too often and you'll get hurt a bit too much. You don't find away corner fighters who are just going to hold their feet and stand in front of people. That doesn't work. So it's the early stages of a career. You get people a blend, you get them a mix, and they'll be trying as best they can to get someone for him next who isn't too much of a threat, but who will still come to try and win. But they're kind of hard to find, aren't they, really?
Well, I think Harley Hodgetts, who's theoretically in the away corner coming up, I think he's one of those fighters coming to win for sure, up against Dylan Adebisi, who's unbeaten in a couple. But, Harley Hodgetts, pal and one-time gym mate of Michael McKinson, is coming up next. Adebisi against Hodgetts, a welterweight over 6 rounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for our third bout of the evening, scheduled 6 3-minute rounds in the welterweight division. And now please welcome to the ring, Harley Hodges.
Good operator, Harley Hodges. And he's been in pretty deep against the talented prospects going places in each of his last 3 fights, where he has dropped decisions to each and every one of them. But operators like Sam Hickey, Commonwealth medalist Matt Rennie and Finn James, he's been in against some good operators, arguably at slightly more advanced stage of the career than Dylan
And now,
Adebisi.
ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent to the ring, Dylan Adebisi.
Big step up this tonight for Dylan Adebisi, who made his debut at York Hall. Made his debut in York Hall in November. He made his top-tier debut back in May when Andy and I saw it. He had to deal with a bit of adversity that line because it was a very late substitute in the shape of Jensen Irving, who's only ever been stopped once. So he had to deal with those emotions, and he managed to ride that and come out on top. But he's up in class tonight against a good operator in Harley Hodges.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds in the welterweight division. This bout is brought to you by Johnny Clark of Top Tier Boxing and sponsored by Play Undisputed, Empire, Synergy Direct, and Think Green Partners. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Ben Harmsworth and Des Reese. Your timekeeper at the bell, Stephen Pucci. And the third man in charge of the action in the ring, referee Louis Van Potch. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing the blue and white. His official weight of 10 stones, 11 pounds. He has a record of 7 fights, 3 losses, and 4 wins. Hailing from Portsmouth, England, United Kingdom, introducing Harley Hodges. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the gold and black. His official weight of 10 stones, 10 pounds. He is currently undefeated with 2 wins, and one of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from London, England, United Kingdom, introducing Dylan Adebisi.
If I say break or stop, break, you can take a full step back. Obey my commands all the time, but above all, protect yourself all the time. Touch gloves.
Looking forward to this. Dylan Adebisi up against a more experienced operator, good operator in Harley Hodges, and intrigued to see
Seconds out, round 1.
what sort of ambition Hodges is going to bring to the ring tonight, because he certainly has the experience and a bit of pedigree to make things interesting against Adebisi, who looked pretty smooth last time we saw him a couple of months ago, Andy.
He did. He's looked good, hasn't he? In both of his fights, he gets himself into terrific shape. He's nice and poised. There's quite a lot of movement with him, quite a lot of posturing in a way. Maybe doesn't let his hands go quite as much as he might just yet, but that's something that'll come. I saw Hodges against Sam Hickey from ringside, and that's 6 rounds against a really good fighter, and that was at middleweight too, so Hodges has got something about him.
Yeah. And up against a prospect, a bigger prospect as well, in terms of weight. So he knows how to deal with things at Hodgetts. It'll be interesting to see how many problems he can pose rather than just how much he can withstand tonight from Adebisi. Fluid, relaxed mover, Adebisi. Nice little skirmish there in the exchanges.
He just stuck that left hand, that jab to the body there, Adebisi, and that's something that is on offer because Hodgetts, when you look at his guard there, his elbows are miles away from his rib cage. He does give you that body, and this is 6 rounds. I think investing in that from an early stage is probably a good plan.
Might have just clipped him with the right hand there, Adebisi, but Hodgetts took it well. Oh, that was a lovely shot. He was the third off the combination, wasn't it? Jab right hand and then the left, almost like an uppercut come hook. That was a lovely little shot he picked there, Adebisi.
And you could see that the head just kind of snap up and back. It's quite a sickening sort of movement when you watch it up close. And he started well here, Adebisi.
Oh, that's a huge right hand again. He wore that well, Hodgetts, but he wouldn't want to take too many of those. Low left hand, and he clipped him. And there's a lovely jab. And just wondering if the feet betrayed him there or whether he was just off balance.
I think he just grabbed him by the forearm and kind of dragged him towards him. But I was wondering exactly the same thing. I said earlier on that I'd like to have seen him punch a bit more in his first couple of fights. He was a little bit too deliberate, waited a bit too long. He's not doing that tonight, is he? He's letting his hands go.
Yeah, advantage in speed, certainly, and a busier Adebisi than we saw last time up, which is exactly what is required. You can see he's a fidget, isn't he, Adebisi? He's constantly on the move. I think he'd be a pretty good dancer. He's got those feet. You can just see him making little gestures and moves with his feet after that exchange. What a start for him.
Good start, really good start. Nice and busy. Solid jab there, just bringing that up from below eye level, so it bursts up into the eye line, makes it harder to pick up. That was the left hand you were talking about there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a cracker. That was a cracker. And again, the value in throwing combinations. Evidence for all to see with that lovely little left uppercut inside. Got an energetic, fast twitch style, Adebisi. Looks really focused tonight as well. Alex and Sableo in his corner. They'll have been pretty pleased with what they saw. Lots of upper body movement from the nose of Hodgetts at the start of the second round.
He hinges at the waist a lot, doesn't he, Adebisi? Lots of lateral movement. You've got to be fit to fight like that. And you look at the condition of...
And as we saw with Pat McCormack last night up in Sunderland on DAZN, that can come in with ambition, but you can steadily take that away from them or beat it out of them, and that was exactly what happened with Pat McCormack against Parra last night. He just steadily, bit by bit, started to take away the ambition and eventually broke him down.
And he's got time on his side to do that here, Adebisi, hasn't he? Because this has got quite hard for Hodgetts.
Yeah, it's a much better start than I'd anticipated.
McCormack was absolutely terrific last night, though, wasn't he? And it was great to see because we both watched him a lot in the amateurs. European champion, World Championship silver medalist. Bit unlucky in that fight. It was a head clash that meant he never really had a chance. Olympic silver medalist, really good to watch. Just, he's got everything you would want, and now he's really getting somewhere after.
This for Adebisi. He had a platform round in one. He has cemented his position, and he's looking for the raise in two. And you can see Hodgetts, who knows exactly what he's doing. He's happy to hold up close, buy himself a little bit of time and space, and particularly with that blood smudged and smearing out of his left nostril. Lovely little body shot that from Adebisi. Does carry his head a little high sometimes in those exchanges, but he is bristling with confidence now, 2 rounds in. He is absolutely buzzing and bristling with confidence. 2 of the best rounds of his career so far.
And he just needs to keep doing exactly what he's doing, because he's setting things up nicely. He's letting his hands go plenty. He's not rushing anything. He doesn't need to go gung-ho here. He just needs to keep turning this screw. And he could get him out of there, I think, because, like we were saying, this has got hard for Hodges quickly, and that's the last thing you need when you're boxing out.
It could be even more so. I love that move we just saw there over
10 seconds.
He closed the range with the feet. He feinted as though he was going to throw that right hand upstairs, and he whipped it into the body. So, lovely little move that from Adebisi. Learning fast on the job. He's a decent operator who's been in deeper in Harley Hodges. And he's presenting him with some problems early doors. So Hodges is now going to have to draw on the experience. And building Adebisi. He looks like he might be hittable in those exchanges, but actually he's quite mindful of defence as well. He's pretty switched on. And he clipped above us, whipped that in perfectly, Adebisi.
And as we were normal stance, the gloves are quite tight to the focus, but the elbows really flare off from the rib cage. Look at him there. So that's always there for Adebisi.
And this is kind of a good template maybe for, you know, Toomey Phillips, who fought earlier on. You see how you can build through rhythm and rhythm. Then a left. He is building momentum moment by moment, round by round.
He really is, and if he can finish strong here, he can put a real dent in Hodges. And for Hodges, when he takes a seat at the end of this round and he'll realise he's halfway through, that's...
This is, I think, exceeding expectations by some measure. To be giving expectations by some measure. To be giving Harley Hodges this kind of bother. Harley Hodges, who's been in with some really good operators, some star amateurs who are looking good turning pro, working their way towards titles, and he is getting the job done impressively. He is getting the job done impressively.
He does.
And in truth, more times than not, knew what to do. But it's to the credit of Adebisi. And the problem in this round has been the number of body shots repeatedly from both flanks. Body, body, body. The attack this round from Adebisi, which is going to make things even more difficult down the stretch.
But he's toughing it out. He had him just backed into the corner there, Adebisi, then didn't really.
Right hand from Adebisi comes forward. Plenty of talent ringside tonight as well. Andy, Lily Winch, one of the female stars of the future. Looking forward to when she's back out. She has got bags of talent.
Yeah, she really has, and just away to her left. She's not there at the minute, she just nipped out, but we've got some boxing royalty in Ellie Scotland.
Ellie Scotland, yeah, world champion. What a fighter she is, taking her career from strength to strength.
He's been quite measured, hasn't he, so far, Adebisi? He's been aggressive, he's been spiteful. I wonder whether they'll just say to him, just keep doing what you're doing, or whether
they just count them down. Can see at least the shadow of the finishing post inside. And I wonder if it's as much the pace and intensity of the attacks as it is the power, but he has had the strength to make things uncomfortable for Hodges all the way throughout, which we just didn't know prior to tonight.
He's never really looked like he's going to unravel Hodges, though, has he? He's under the...
And whipped the left hook. Been impressed with his body attack tonight through the last couple of rounds. Shots from ankles. The pressure has been intense. It's been, in its own way, relentless. And here you go again. And again, it was the left hook to the body. Again, it was the third punch off the combination. Reminder to any youngster in the sport, that's why you throw the combinations. 1, 2 might miss. There's always the chance if you set it up for the third or the fourth. And Adebisi's done that really well tonight.
He's just having a word about use of the forearm. He just pushed the forearm in and you could see the head of Hodgetts just snap up a little bit. Nothing major, really.
Yeah, he's been surprisingly strong, hasn't he, up close, whether it's legal or otherwise. So we're inside the final minute of the penultimate round. So Hodgetts is ticking away the difficult moments. He'll be feeling the body tomorrow, that's for sure.
I think he has had a better round here, Hodgetts. Consistent. He's doing what he's done right from the very beginning.
Yeah, he's been very, very consistent. Impressive, in particular, through the first 3 rounds. That's probably, in a sense, the quietest round we've had, right? That's to the great credit of Hodgetts, who kind of managed to nullify as much as he could. And now you can see the finishing line.
I'd be keen to see him come out for this round, though, really just go for it. That doesn't mean you want to tighten up and start trying to throw massive big bombs, but just come out and really let the hands go. Just keep that tempo really, really high. Does well there, Hodgetts, doesn't he? Because he's trapped on the ropes a bit and then just comes off, grabs hold, holds on, eventually gets a grip on the forearm, and he's trying to do the same thing again there. The referee just breaking the pair of them.
He's cutting the ring off well tonight as well, Adebisi. To an extent, Hodgetts is up.
And I was looking up at the ring thinking, this is tough. This is a tough night for Hodgetts, but he's going to get through it by the look of it, and that's a
know-how from Harley Hodgetts to ride the very, very rocky moments that we saw at halfway. They'll be chuffed with that. That's the best we've seen out of BC by a long way.
Yeah, I think so. And he did keep the tempo nice and high. I guess my only criticism would be maybe in rounds 5 and 6 he'd try and just take it up a notch and then another notch, but that's easier said than done, firstly. And secondly, what he was doing was making a dent. It was working, so patience is a much underappreciated virtue a lot of the time, and I think he probably felt that if he kept doing what he was doing, then you might reach that tipping point, which just never quite happened.
Harley Hodgetts straight across to Johnny Clark. No touch glove, shake hands. You can count on me for another show, if required. And basically, it was a move up tonight as well, wasn't it? He did 2 rounds on debut, 4 rounds last time, into a 6-rounder for the first time, and seemed to do it pretty much in a canter.
Yeah.
Just waiting to take the gloves off to get confirmation of it now with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Ringside referee scores the bout 59-55. And your winner, still undefeated,
Dylan Adebisi then rolls on. Second top tier show and his 3rd career win, and as good as we've seen him, Andy.
Yeah, it was. It was. He put his punches together well from the start, and I said at the beginning that the first couple of times I've seen him, I felt that he could let his hands go a little bit more. He was maybe a bit too deliberate, looking for that kind of perfect shot, and there was still a lot of method and a lot of intent and purpose behind everything he did. But it's a high failure rate sport, boxing, isn't it? Most of what you throw isn't going to land, and I think sometimes you just need to realise that. And he threw more tonight, quite simply. That's what I like.
Yeah, that's what you like to see in a prospect. Building through the rounds, getting better, looking better, round by round by round. And he did that until Hodges stemmed the flow late on in it. And to be honest, he looked like he could do another 4 rounds, no bother at all, which with that style is quite something. Let's get the debrief. He's talking to Ali.
Successful first 6-round fight for you. It looked like you were pushing the pace, throwing your hands a bit more than we'd seen in the previous 2 fights. Was that the game plan going into tonight?
Yeah, I've got a bit more time, so I've got time to push the pace. So yeah, man, I went for it.
And how did you feel your performance was on those 6 rounds? I saw after round 4 going into 5, you looked a bit frustrated in the corner.
I'm always critical of myself. I was doing certain things, and I'm like, why did I do that? I need to probably start beating myself up, but you know, it's early in my career, I'm glad I got the experience. First 6 rounds out of the way. So yeah.
Did you feel around the middle rounds that maybe you could get him out of there early?
What was that?
During the middle rounds, did you get a sense you could maybe get him out of there early?
Yeah, I hit him a few times. I could tell he was hurt. And I know I should have got him out of there, but you know, it's learning,
Yeah, it is only your 3rd professional fight. You know, you're getting the rounds in, you're getting those valuable experiences. Do you feel like you're learning and progressing every fight?
100%. But, you know, this game's cutthroat. You can't learn quick enough. It just takes one mistake and you're out of there. So, me, I'm my own biggest supporter, but my own biggest critic at the same time. So, yeah, man, I can't wait even to get back in the gym and just work on a few things. Because, you know, it's certain things I'll do in training, but you haven't done it until you can do it without thinking. You haven't really learned it. So I know I need to just, you know, improve on a few more things. And yeah, man, I'll be the person I know I can be.
And is there any talk of what is next? Have you spoken to your team and Johnny about potentially more fights this year?
Yeah, for now it's classified information. You got to ask the big man, Johnny. You get me? He gives me the green light, I'll let you know in it, but ask him first.
And the final words to the supporters in here tonight for you.
I love every single one of you that come out to support me. I don't feel like I understand how much I love you. I honestly couldn't do this without you. So big up every single person that come out. Yeah, man, I love you. We not stop. Let's go on to the next.
Well done, great performance.
Thank you.
Well, he's confident, got a bit of swagger, and he's getting better with every outing, and that's what you like to see. Stepped up to the plate tonight. That could have been a tricky opponent, and he pretty much bossed it from start to finish. And we're counting down to the main DAZN bill. Still plenty more to come. A couple of area title fights. Really looking forward to it. What's still coming up here in Brentwood?